pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome to the Bryan City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 2nd. First meeting of 2018. First item on the agenda is hearing of public concerns. And not seeing anyone come forward at this time, we'll move on to item number 2, which is the election of a president for 2018. So this is my last official act as president for this year. Accept any nominations for president. I would move to, I would nominate Judy Yaris. I can't? Because I'm president? Okay, then I won't
I will nominate Judy.
nominate Judy Yaris.
Second.
Barry,
Yes.
John,
Yep.
Judy,
Abstain.
Rick.
Yes. Next item is to elect a vice president. Accept any nominations for vice president for 2018.
I'd like to nominate Rick, please.
I'll second it.
Judy,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick.
Yes, or abstain, I'm sorry. I think after a year I'd get this down, but not yet. And so now we move seats, is that my understanding?
First of all, my first official thing is to say thank you so much. You have no idea how much this has meant, and I've learned a lot from you, and we really appreciate it, and the new council wants to thank you too.
Well, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure and a learning experience being the president of City Council, and I'm sure Judy will do a fine job as well, and it definitely was different than what I had anticipated, but it was very good. And after a year, you'd think I'd be able to know how to go through this process, but of course, I still make mistakes, but that's okay. And so Judy, if you make any mistakes, that's fine.
Okay. Because I probably will.
All right.
Now we can shape.
Now we can all shift. All right,
Now we gotta do this too, they said.
okay.
Can't we just take our black thingies?
Oh, I gotta have my booster seat.
Yeah, I don't need a booster seat.
Yep, I do.
Send that over to Judy.
If I grow up, I wouldn't have to have that.
Oh, yeah, I need that.
Okay. Next on the agenda is number 4. This is to set the time and date for council meetings. Mayor?
Yes, with the holidays for next year, we are going to set special meetings on Tuesday, January 16th, in place of Martin Luther King Day. The city offices will be closed that day. We will also be having our Labor Day weekend meeting on Tuesday, September 4th. We are going to not have a council meeting on Ready, Set, Relax, so that will be changed to Tuesday, October 12th. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day will be observed as follows. Christmas Eve will be observed on the city on Monday, December 24th. Christmas Day, Tuesday, December 25th. And that is all per the Bryan City Handbook. Also, regularly outside of those changes, we will have council meetings on the 1st and 3rd Mondays of every month. So I would need a motion to approve these changes. As well as 2019 Martin Luther King Day. We would have to have that meeting on Tuesday, January 22nd. Looking forward quite a bit.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Number 5 on our agenda is an ordinance. Lori, would you please number and read?
Ordinance number 1, 2018, an ordinance for a then and now purchase certifying adequate funds were available. Last summer, most of you are aware that the wastewater treatment plant is receiving a major capital infrastructure change for the effluent disinfection, grit removal, and digester project. A purchase order was written to Hanks Plumbing and Heating for over $3 million. At the end of the year, of course, they haven't yet completed the project, but we needed to close the purchase order or it would have driven that fund, that project fund, into a negative balance. So we went ahead and closed that purchase order. We need to reopen that purchase order in January of 2018. It's for $1,279,000, excuse me. And the reason we do that is for the auditors. We can't have a negative fund balance going into the end of the year. However, Hanks, we're still out there working on the project in December, and therefore we're gonna get billed for time and materials incurred into the new year, and we wouldn't have a purchase order available. So I'm requesting that the council approve it then and now purchase certifying the adequate funds were available.
I move that we approve.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
I need a motion to pass then, please.
Oh, okay. Motion to pass.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next on the agenda is a resolution authorizing Carrie as a delegate to represent the city. Lori, would you please number and read?
Resolution number 1, 2018, a resolution authorizing Carrie Schlade as delegate to represent the city of Bryan as a member of the Board of Directors of the Ohio Municipal Electric Association in 2018.
I'm going to speak to this for a minute. This is something that the mayor of the city of Bryan held for a long time. I am going to keep his position on that board if council so approves, and the alternate for me is usually a BMU member, which will be Dick Long, which is all in this ordinance.
Move to suspend.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Move to adopt.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yep.
Judy.
Yes. Next is a resolution. Lori, would you please number and read?
Resolution number 2, 2018, a resolution to authorize the appointment of city engineer Bryan Whelan to District Number 5 Integrating Committee for issue 2 approval.
Make a motion to suspend.
Second.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Move to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Okay, number 8 on the agenda is another resolution. Lori, would you number and read, please?
Resolution number 3, 2018, a resolution authorizing the clerk treasurer to advertise for bids for the project known as 2018 asphalt program.
Good evening. Welcome new members. Carrie as well, your first meeting here. We're starting a little bit early with our bid process. As you guys have been aware through previous meetings and whatnot, we're gonna have a pretty busy summer. Got a sanitary sewer project that's gonna start in the next few weeks. We've got our big Main Street program, which will be probably in August or September. So I wanna get the paving program done earlier than what we normally do, so my inspectors are available to take care of all that, so we're not bottlenecked at one time. So, and as we talked about before the end of the year, this is a pretty big project. We're gonna pave all of Union Street, basically from railroad tracks to railroad tracks, and then most of East Wilson Street, which is east of Union Street. We're estimating it's gonna be in excess of 500,000, if not more. We're still waiting on the asphalt emulsion numbers that are gonna be available this year. They're not quite out yet, but we wanna be ready to go so we can advertise for bids in February, receive them in March, and pave be one of the first projects out of the gate. So with that, it is a budgeted item. We are gonna use some money out of the 0.5%, and we're also gonna use a couple $100,000 out of gas tax money, which has been sitting there as well. So, and if it does run a little higher than normal, I have a little extra in the gas tax money that I may ask for an appropriation, a little extra when we get that, but we'll worry about that when we get to that point. So, but with that, if you don't have any further questions, I would request you suspend the rules and authorize me to get going.
I have one question.
Yes.
The railroad tracks, you said from railroad track to railroad track.
That's pretty
the
much
one
city limit to city limit.
Down by Titan Tire?
Correct.
Now, do we do that,
No.
or is that,
That's actually a private crossing.
Okay.
It's kind of up for argument. The railroad says they don't own it. They say Titan Tire does, and Titan Tire says we don't own it. The railroad does. So we have no rights to touch it. We will pave up next to it. But something's gonna come to a head this summer on some repairs getting done, whether it's Titan Tire or the railroad. But we'll be pushing and pulling some strings here this summer to see what we can do.
Okay.
But we will get up to that point. We're actually going south of that railroad track a little bit. There's some portions in the city limits that are south of that as well that we're gonna take care of. But theoretically, it's from railroad to railroad in there, so.
okay. Council?
No, you answered my question about the budget contingency.
I move that we suspend.
I'll second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Okay, number 10 is a resolution authorizing city to apply for a following grant. Lori, would you number and read, please?
Number 9. I think.
Number 9, excuse me. Number 9.
Okay. Resolution number 4, 2018, a resolution authorizing the clerk treasurer to advertise for bids for the project known as 2018 Pavement Marking Program.
Again, this project goes hand in hand with the paving program. Typically, it's less than $100,000. It might be knocking up closer to that number this year. We still have to do some testing on High Street to see if the pavement marking still meets the reflectivity mandates that we have. But with that, the two need to be done at about the same time, so I would request that you suspend the rules and authorize me as well. This is a budgeted item as well.
I move to suspend.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
Rick,
Second.
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Now, number 10 on the agenda. Lori, would you please number and read?
Resolution number 5, 2018, a resolution authorizing the city engineer of the city of Bryan, Williams County, Ohio, to apply for the following grants: Ohio Public Works Commission, OPWC, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and small cities through the Ohio Department of Transportation and others for the city of Bryan, Williams County, Ohio, as necessary.
Just a yearly staple that we usually do. I request that you suspend the rules and allow me to continue to do what I do.
I suspend.
Second.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. number 11 is a building permit.
We'll start the year out with a bang. Small project, Bryan City Schools. They're doing some renovation of existing administrative offices out in the field house building, $136,000 construction cost. Yeah, basically just a simple renovation, so I just request you approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Judy.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I'll set this up front and pass it down to signatures.
thank you, Brian.
Okay, number 12 is a resolution. Chief Siders. Lori, would you number and read?
Resolution number 6, 2018. A resolution authorizing the fire chief of the city of Bryan to apply for grants for the city of Bryan Fire Department.
Just like Mr. Whelan with the engineering office, we come to council every year asking to apply for various grants that we do. As a matter of fact, right now, the assistant firefighter grant is opened already, so it's got a February closing date. So I would ask that council suspend the rules and approve this for us.
Move to suspend.
I second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes,
Judy.
Yes.
Move to approve.
second.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Chief, I have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
I see Mark's radio grant. Are we currently using Mark's?
We are on a limited basis. We have a base station at the police and fire in our dispatch center. And we also have a mobile radio in the hazardous materials unit, and we have a portable radio as well. So when they had the accident last year or 2 years ago up on the turnpike, we sent the portable radio along with one of our crews over to assist Fulton County with that accident. So we used the Marks radio for that.
Is that the direction that most of the area departments are headed, is to go towards Mark's, or is it still kind of a mix?
Well, with the adoption of the FirstNet, and I don't know if you've heard of that before, there's a nationwide 700, 800 megahertz radio system for first responders that is being implemented, and the states are either opting in or opting out of the FirstNet system. It's a federal funded radio system. The state of Ohio has opted into the system. Not sure how that's all going to shake down yet. There's been a lot of discussions going on about the radio system as to, do we keep what we got or do we hop on board? How does that all play out? So it's a trend that's moving forward. I would assume at some point we will probably move that way. I don't know when that's going to happen. Obviously, we're just going to continue on the way we've been doing it, and unless something comes down the pipe that requires us to have to do it. So
Does FirstNet have the reach that Mark's does? I know at
it's
Mark's
going.
you can reach.
The way I understand it, it's basically going to be the same thing.
Okay,
It's just going to be able to tie into the federal system in the event of a disaster of dramatic proportions.
okay, thank you.
No, we have to vote
Oh, did
on
we
this.
vote on this yet? Oh,
We
okay.
haven't done that. Council?
I move that we suspend.
We already voted on that.
You already voted on it?
We voted on
That's
that?
right.
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Then
Number
next-
13.
Number 13.
Number 13, okay. Another resolution. Lori, would you please number and read?
Resolution number 7, 2018, a resolution authorizing the fire chief of the city of Bryan to advertise for bids for the project known as self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA.
This is a budgeted item. Our current self-contained breathing apparatus units are now outdated, and As a matter of fact, the manufacturer's starting to limit parts for some of our items, so we need to upgrade our breathing apparatus for the fire department. So I asked that council suspend so we can get started on the specifications and get them out for bid. So that we can
Just
get
out of
things-
curiosity, what happens to do you just pitch the old ones, or do they
Yeah,
go
the
to
bottles.
secondary market,
yeah,
or?
The bottles themselves are, their shelf life is up. They
Okay.
can no longer be
Gotcha.
tested and put back in service. And the packs themselves, again, the parts are becoming harder and harder to obtain. So we're not gonna be able to do anything with them other than junk them.
What's the lifespan?
Typically, 15 years is the lifespan for a CBA.
I move to suspend.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Okay, item number 14 is an employee change in the fire department.
Yes. Firefighter EMT Jared McCann has obtained his fire instructor certification through the state of Ohio. And with this certification, Jared is qualified to move up in classifications to firefighter 1. I'm asking council's permission to move firefighter McCann to the classification of firefighter 1, and he will serve a 6-month probation with the classification change.
Move to adopt.
I'll second.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 15 is appointments. Mayor?
That would be me. Yes, every year, council appoints, or I'm sorry, the mayor recommends appointment to certain boards. First, we would like to start with the health board. I would request that Amy Welling be replacing Dawn Klein as the city's representative. Zoning Board of Appeals, which is a 5-year term, would be Art Splitzer to be reappointed. He has been on this board previously. Richard Reed, reappointed to the Williams County Port Authority for an 8-year term. Dan Struzio, reappointed to the Civil Service Commission for a 6-year term. Bernard Beavers and Nikki Warnicki to be reappointed to the Planning and Zoning for a term of 6 years. Alexandra Smith to the Police Department, and Carrie Schlade as mayor, as the Bryan representatives, replacing Sherry Cooper and Douglas Johnson for Records Commission. And then for WEDCO for the 2018 year, Mayor Carrie Schlade and Mary Ivan, who is a COO of Ellie Smith Company. Just a little backstory on this. WEDCO board had been requesting that we have one government agency and one corporation agency. And typically that was a seat held by Dan Yaris of the Chamber. I did speak to Dan, and I spoke to the Chamber Executive Board. We agree that Dan and I should focus on small business, and we will let someone in the business industry represent us on WEDCO. Everyone was in agreement of that. So I look forward to working with the Chamber and Dan in local, small, square operations, and hopefully with Mary Ivan on the bigger industry that WEDCO handles. So with that, I would need a motion to approve any and all appointments.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Just for clarity, it says Bernard Beavers and Nikki Warnicki be appointed. You
It
said
should say reappointed.
Reappointed, okay,
Yes.
thank you. Well, that's it,
Yes, they have been on that.
all right.
And Mary Ivan, that was by request of WEDCO, and everybody was in agreement that
Yeah.
that should go from a council position to
It's-
a private, or to a business position.
Actually, 2 years ago, council it was a council position, and a chamber was the other representative. 2 years ago, Mayor Johnson was appointed to the WEDCO board, and I would like to stay on as mayor. That's been something we have practiced for the last 2 years. This will be going into the third. So there has not been a council member
Okay.
that had voting authority. That does not mean that if you want to attend, that you're more than welcome to do so.
Okay.
You just,
Move to adopt.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, item number 16 is new hire, Chief Siders.
Yes. As council is aware, we obtained a SAFER grant last year, and we're coming up on our deadline that we have to have our personnel in place for that grant. And I bring before you tonight Michael Ruby. Michael comes to us from Archibald, Ohio. He has his firefighter 2 certification, his EMT, his hazardous material technician. He's also a fire instructor as well as a fire safety inspector. So he has a pretty good amount of certifications. I'd ask that council approve his appointment so that he can begin tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 17, approve the committees for 2018.
Yes, these are the only two that we're going to approve at this point. We decided to wait for the 5th council member to be named before we did any council committees. So with that, I would ask that you approve the following committees of prevailing wage coordinators, Bryan Whelan and Melanie Kaiser, and the ADA is Patrick Thorpe. Those 3 have sat on those boards for many years, am I correct? Many years. So this is just, again, a reappointment of city employees to their respective boards. So with that, I would hope for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mary,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Judy.
Yes. Okay, that concludes what we have on the agenda. Go around the room. Mr. Dominic. Mr. Willis, Chief Willis. Mr. Whelan. Chief Siders. Mr. Maynard. Mr. Betts.
I do not, thank you.
I do not.
Mr. Hoopie.
I just want to say, I'm not sure that I thanked everyone for the very nice plaque that I was given, and once again, I enjoyed being the president of council, and I look forward to Judy's leadership this year in 2018.
Lori.
No, sir. Ma'am.
Rhonda.
Welcome to the new council members. Glad to have you here. And to our
Thanks.
new mayor, it's going to be an exciting year.
Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes, welcome, Mr. Betts and Ms. Leatherman. Mr. Hoopie, thank you for your year of service. I enjoyed sitting on one side of you, and now we're gonna have Judy between us, or the rose between two thorns, right?
There you go.
Not so
You
much
did-
laughter out there.
You did a very fine job tonight, Ms. Yaris. Thank you for that. Today was my first official start day. It was a good day. I look forward to keeping the city rolling, as Mayor Johnson asked me to do. And with that, council members, in your packet is a notice of the chamber banquet for January 25th. That will be at our YMCA. If you have interest in attending as a council member, please let myself or Cindy Rao know. By January 10th, I think is the date we wanted to let the chamber know. Again, we encourage you to go. It's always a great time. Ms. Leatherman will have a big job that evening, so I know she will be representing the chamber, so we won't save a seat at the council table for her. And also, again, regular council meeting will be Tuesday, January 16th at 7 p.m. following the BPA meeting due to the Martin Luther King holiday. Trash pickup will remain as scheduled on that Monday. That's it. Thank you.
I would like to say again, thank you to Rick. He did a wonderful job last year. I would also like to say, welcome.
Thank you.
You've almost got one under your belt, me too. So we will now take a short break, short recess to go into executive session for consider an appointment of public employer official. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
And everybody